What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of B to Z. On today's episode, we're going to make some bottom boards. Stick with me, and I'll show you a step-by-step procedure on how to make 10-frame Langstroth hive bottom boards. We're going to use 3/4 inch plywood. It's the preferred wood that I prefer to use. We're going to rip that using our table saw to a dimension of 21.5 inches in this direction and 16.25 inch in the width-wise. We have our fence set up to 16.25. So next we'll go ahead and rip it on the table saw. For the next step, we're going to move our fence to 21.5 inches. Go. The next step is going to be to cut the strips that go along the sides back of the bottom board. That's going to give us the space for the bees to actually enter. And I'm going to use a entrance reducer material to guide me as to the size of that strip. And that's going to be 3/4 inch. I'm going to place my entrance reducer onto the table and then butt my fence right up against to it, and that'll be my guide for the strips that I'm going to be cutting. I currently have 5 bottom boards that I'm making for this video. So I'm going to cut 10 of these longer strips. Now this is extra material that I have. So this particular piece of plywood is not going to give me the full length of the bottom board itself, but it will go the full length of the actual box. If you want the full length, the strip to go to the full length, then just cut to the 21.5 inch strips by 3/4 inch width on these next steps that we're going to do. This one's about 1 inch short, so it'll be 1 inch short, but still will be well supported by the deep box. As long as it's supported by the deep box and you have strips underneath the deep box, then you're good. So let's cut those strips next. This is a strip that was left over from cutting the 21.5-inch dimension on the board. So we're going to use this scrap to cut the back strip. We're going to grab our 2 strips and you can measure it from there, or you can simply just do the math. So if you use 3/4 inch dimension, 3/4 inch thick plywood, and you have 2 strips, so we have a 16 1/4 inch width of the bottom board minus the width of your side strips, which would be 3/4 inch times 2, so minus 1.5. So 16 1/4 minus 1.5 will be 14 3/4. We're going to cut these back strips to 14 3/4. If you use a different thickness of plywood, just take that into consideration and make the adjustments from there. We have 5 bottom boards that we are creating, so we're going to need 5 strips. Now we have the correct dimension of the back, and we can verify that by grabbing a bottom board, placing it in the center, grabbing your side strips and placing it there. Make sure that they're flush to the edges of your bottom board to verify that you've cut the right dimension for the back strip. So now we're going to cut the strips. We're going to need 5 strips. We'll use an entrance reducer as our guide for how thick it's going to be, or just set it for 3/4 inch. And now we'll strip it. We'll rip it down for at least to get 5 strips for the 5 bottom boards. So now we have all the pieces to construct the bottom board. This will be the back piece, our 2 side pieces, one here and one there. And you'll see here, this is what I meant, that the scrap that I had wasn't just quite long enough, but the box is going to end before that, so the box will be supported anyways, fully on the sides. If you want it to be extended all the way forward, just make sure that you have the lumber size long enough to be able to cut it for the full length. Next, we will glue it up and staple it together. To be able to make some of these parts, as a matter of fact, I make all of my equipment using very simple tools, nothing fancy. This is just a simple mobile contract site table saw. And if you want to know the exact model number, it's the DWE7491, and it has a 10-inch blade. And then being in America, this one's running on 120 volt AC. It pulls about 15 amps and it runs at 4,800 per minute RPM. Nothing fancy. I don't have a big ginormous table saw, and I'm able to make many of my hive parts using just the table saw by itself. So for the case of making bottom boards, a simple workshop table saw will work. Even a hand saw would work. Might just need to use some sort of guide fence, and you can do that by clamping a board from one end to the other after making your measurements. Having a fence like this really makes things a lot easier, but not totally necessary if you can follow a straight line with a handsaw. For this next part, we're going to be assembling the actual bottom boards using the parts that we've cut. I'm going to use an air gun. If you want to use a hammer and nails, you can do that as well. Having an air gun, a nailer, this is just a brad nailer from Harbor Freight. And you can see I'm using Central Pneumatics. I've had this thing for longer than I can remember. So we're going to use staples. These are the staples we're going to use. They're just about the right size. I'm going to make sure that they don't poke through. We're using 1/4 inch crown, 1.5 inch leg. And if you can get 1 1/4 inch legs, that'll be even better. Then you can pretty much assure yourself that it will not poke through. And these are 18 gauge. I'm using what I have. I still have a ton of these, so we're going to use these. You're also going to want to get yourself some wood glue as well. We're going to grab our 3 strips that we're going to need. We're going to grab the wood glue. And spread the wood glue all at one time. Don't be skimpy with the wood glue. The glue is going to help seal the grain and it helps makes the boards last longer. And I actually recommend that whatever end grain you have exposed, you go ahead and just put some wood glue on that too prior to painting. The wood glue is going to help seal the end grain and reduce or slow down the effects of the water intrusion and rotting. Okay, we'll put one in the back. And there you have it. There's one. So now these staples are protruding a little bit. So again, if you have access to 1 1/4 long staples, then you won't get them protruding like this. So I just knock them down. All right, so they're all complete now. Now the next thing that I would do is to put glue on all the end grains, and that'll help protect water intrusion and help the bottom boards last longer. So all of the end grains on the top here, on the sides, any end grain that's been exposed, I would highly recommend that you just give it a little swipe of the wood glue on all of these. Once that's all dry, then the next step would be is to paint it. And there you have it. Built 5 bottom boards We cut the main bottom board, we cut the strips, we glued them, we stapled them, and we went over the dimensions. If you liked the video and this was helpful for you, please go ahead and give me a like and subscribe. Let me know which video you'd like to see next. I'm thinking that maybe we'll start to do the top covers as the next video. Once again, thanks for your support. We appreciate a like and a subscribe. Until next time, thanks for watching another episode of B to Z.